a major change for college athletes stopped at the goal line. The NCAA delaying the start of allowing players to bet on professional sports. This is just days before that rule was set to take effect. And while a sports betting scandal rocks the NBA, NewsNation's Ryan Bass is following the latest. Ryan, good morning. How much did the NBA investigation lead to this decision?
Well, the timing seems to point that this was pretty critical in this decision here, Hannah. Look, just days after this NBA betting scandal broke, the NCAA hitting pause basically here, clearly rethinking about whether or not they want to open the door for their college athletes and staff to be able to gamble just on pro sports. But still, this is something that they believe could invite the same corruption and potentially addiction into the college game. Now, earlier this month, NCAA Divisions 1, 2, and 3 signed off on this big change, letting college athletes and staff bet on pro sports. It was supposed to kick off on Saturday, but that rollout is now on hold after pushback from some of the most powerful voices in college athletics. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey wrote a memo to NCAA President Charlie Baker, which was obtained by Yahoo Sports, and called the move a, quote, major step in the wrong direction. Sankey wrote that the combination of accessible mobile betting, financial pressures, and social influence makes the possibility of personal gambling losses and the potential for exploitation very real. Now, Sankey even pointed to the NBA betting scandal as a warning here, saying it shows just how easily competition and careers can be compromised. There's been other outspoken critics as well. University of Pittsburgh football coach Pat Narduzzi ripped into the betting proposal during his Monday presser just days before the NCAA took it off the table.
I think it's absolutely one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen. It's a bad deal, and it all comes down to they probably don't want to have to take care of all the business that goes with trying to monitor it.
So the NCAA is now giving itself 30 days to rethink this proposal in terms of letting its athletes bet on college, or I should say pro sports. A final decision comes on November 22nd, and if less than 75% of Division I leaders end up backing this change, well, then, Hannah, that means it's completely scrapped and off the table, and these student athletes would not be allowed to bet on sports.
Ryan, I'm curious, could there be consequences if the current policy stays in place where student athletes can't bet on sports at all?
Yeah, Hannah, so this has been the policy that has been in place, so it would be status quo. However, the whole reason behind this change from the NCAA was they wanted more transparency. For example, supporters say that if athletes can bet on these regulated platforms, so say DraftKings or FanDuel, even if it is just on pro sports, that it is much easier to monitor. But if you have an outright ban on it, that could push some of this betting to offshore sites where it's not as easily regulated, or it could be, unmonitored. There's not a lot of accountability or visibility here. So that is the reason for why it could be a negative here. But again, with the way this is trending, Henda, I would be very, very surprised if the NCAA, in fact, did move forward with allowing its college athletes and staff to bet on pro sports.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.